Let's go. Right, you beautiful lot. My name's Jason. This is my 80's podcast. You put the boom, boom into my heart. Right, this part, my podcast to this week is going to be by Nikki and the amazing Karen are going to join me, but they're going to ask me questions. So they're going to take on the role of me, and they're going to ask me loads of questions about what it was like for me in the 80s. But before that, I've got some intros. So I've got some intros section of my podcast. So I'm going to play literally seconds of an intro of an 80s song, and I want you to guess it. Let me know what it is. And then at the end of the podcast, I'll give you the answers. So this is the first one. Are you ready? You will get this one. As I like to say, you will get this one. You ready? Go on. A few seconds. Don't tell me you don't know that song. That was an absolute classic song. Come on, you will get that one. Right, that's your first intro. Your second intro is... If you don't get this one, I will eat that camera. You know, this is the first intro. Second intro. If you don't know that, I don't know what's going to happen in life. I have to be really honest. Right, that's your second one. So the third one, and this one as well. This is your third one. You will get this one. You know, come on. That is an absolute banger of a classic. So that's your third intro. So your fourth one is... You ready? Right. If you don't know them, I don't know what's happening in life if you don't know them. So that's your fourth one. So the last one is, come on, ladies and gentlemen, you will. Literally, this is your fifth one. You will get this one. How quick was that? How brilliant were they? So that's my 5 intros to some 80s classic tunes. So I will tell you the answers after. But before that, take a look and a listen at the amazing Nikki and the amazing Karen asking me. I have to be honest, this was a bit... When I first came to do this, I was a bit worried because when I do my podcast, I know exactly what I'm going to talk about. And when you come on and you ain't got a clue, it was a bit... So this is Karen and Nikki asking me some great 80s questions. And be warned, there are some 80s pictures as well. Go on, have a look. You'll love it.
Are you recording?
I'm recording that. I'm a little bit nervous. And
well, that's right. As Nikki's a newbie, we'll let her go first then.
Oh no, don't let me go. I think so
do you want me to start off with my little ditty, or do you want to do it yourself?
Go on then. Go on. No, you can do your ditty.
My name's Jason, and this is my 80s podcast. You put the boom, boom into my heart. Right, I'm here with these. I don't know where I'm pointing, but I'm here with the amazing Nikki and the amazing Karen.
No, not me. That's Nikki.
Nikki. Oh, where I'm here. So I'm gonna. This part, I've not done this before, so I'm going to leave this open to Karen and Nikki to do the show. So I have no idea what's happening, so I'm going to go on then, ladies. I don't know why I'm going to swear.
I did think we'd start off with you have to guess a lyric because you do it enough to us. So
that would be brilliant. Is this going to be a bit like someone watching me where I'm absolutely useless at that?
But I'm not singing because I will cough.
You're going to make me sing, aren't you?
So,
go on.
Okay. Right. Let's have a look. See if I can find one. So, you should know some of these. You're going to know this one.
You'll know this one.
You'll know this one.
Go on.
Okay. Then. So, she's coming in, 12:30 flight. Her moonlit wings reflect some old forgotten words or ancient melodies.
Oh, see, as soon as you said the end bit, I knew what that was. Can you just sing it for me?
Oh, cough! She's coming in 12:30 flight. Her moonlit wings reflect some old forgotten words or ancient melodies.
Foreigner.
No.
It's Africa. It's Africa.
Africa, yes. Foreigner.
When you were reading it, I was like, I have no idea what this is. As soon as you started singing it, I was like, got it.
See, I always say this when I used to do this. This is why it's great. When I do this, it's like I know what it is, and it's like it sounds nothing like it.
I know. It's great when you know what it is. Oh, here we are. You'll know this one. You'll get this one. I've been wanting to say that for so long.
Go on. Okay. You can do that.
You see, I've been away for so long. I let you go for so long. Hey, little sister, shotgun.
Oh, it's a nice day for a white wedding.
Yes.
It was only the end bit. It was the only end bit that gave.
I was going to leave that off, and I thought there's not enough there to say anything. But yeah.
Do you know when you do it though? Isn't it like that? Because you just think, how much do I put into it? Because sometimes
and then you sit there in your head when you're guessing, going, and then you finally get the words that you want.
Yeah.
So
I'm glad it's not just me that finds it difficult.
No, it's not. I mean, I've got a few for later on, but I don't know if Nikki's got a question she wants to ask you.
I do have a question. Sorry, I feel like there's so much light in this kitchen. I might have to turn one of the lights off. Okay, so we know that you love the 80s. So, if there was one thing, just one thing you could bring back from the 80s, what would it be and why?
Oh, I have to, I mean, there's quite a lot for me, but I have to. Mine would probably be my chopper bike. Because when I always remember, especially when you see them now, because they're so expensive now, aren't they? The chopper bikes. And I think I always, and it's like I've even tried to look for some, but they're just so expensive. But I remember having my chopper bike, and I think I've spoken to this before, and I always remember cogging my sisters on the back. And as a kid, you used to go really mad. Yeah. And then forgot that the gears are right. And as a bloke, when the gears are in between your legs and you slip off with your brakes.
Not good.
Honestly. And I used to, my sisters used to want to have a go. And I didn't really let them have a go. I did. But she used to moan as well. Do you know, because the gears bit were here. And obviously when you whack your brakes, but for me with my and I used to love even my chopper bike. I used to like, like when you shouldn't do this, do you know, like when you used to like jump over people, on these ramps and your bike,
thinking you were Evel Knievel.
Yeah. It worked so much. It worked so much better with another bike. But when I had my chopper bike, it was just, oh my god, my chopper bike was just. So for me, it would be my chopper bike. If I could bring something back from it, would be my chopper.
You could get everybody
my
on
chopper. Absolutely.
So, okay, so apart from George Michael, apart from him, I know you would say him first, who did you have other crush on?
Oh, see, I always think it's like with George Michael. I think it was more an idolising with him. I'd never had a crush on him, but I did. I did when I was younger, and it was those two. There was Nick Kershaw.
Oh yeah.
And Nick Kamen when he used to be in the advert. Do you know that 80s advert for the jeans? Honestly, Nick Kamen was just. It was a jeans thing for me, and I remember. But at the time, I just think growing up at the time, and it's like I used to think to myself, "Why am I feeling like that?" I'm like 13-year-old because I didn't know.
No,
you know what I mean. But Nick Kershaw. I think Nick Kershaw was the mullet, wasn't it? It was the. There was, to be honest,
he had the bit down the back, didn't he? What did he sing?
He had Sun Always Shines On. No, that was awful.
I can't remember that.
What did Nick Kershaw? He sang those. What was it? Wouldn't it be good? Wouldn't it be good to see in my shoes?
That's the one.
But I did. It's really bizarre. I always remember, and I think I've said this before, not so much a crush. Well, I didn't have a crush. I remember my dad was obsessed with Samantha Fox. And I think I've spoken to this before. And I used to have all these posters on my wall. And it was a little bit obsessive because I used to love EastEnders. When EastEnders first started, but it was weird, Nick, honest to Karen. It was literally, I used to record every episode on a cassette. And I used to, especially when Anita Dobson was in it, who played Anja, and I knew it word for word. And my dad and I can remember I had all these posters on, and my dad put this naked picture of Samantha Fox on it, and I had no idea it'd been there for weeks until he told me. But yeah, so it would have been Nick, but I did have like female ones as well. I mean, it was like
Really?
Debbie Gibson.
Oh my word!
Yeah, I used to think, but she was very Britney clean cut, wasn't she? I don't know what she was then, but she was very Britney, wasn't she? Very clean cut Britney. I always think Debbie Gibson was, and who was it? Yeah. But then it's like 5 Star. I said of all them, the girls in 5 Stars, growing up, and
I had their stuff on VHS. I had their tape on VHS with all their music videos on it.
Well,
honestly. When if you ever talk to my sisters about 5 Star, they just look at me going out because.
Well, it's sad though. They were quite mismanaged, weren't they?
They were by their dad, wasn't they? They were. They were so good as well, but they were mismanaged, weren't they?
They lost loads of money, didn't they? They lost millions. Because I remember they had a house not far from us in the south. It was gated.
Yeah, they did.
And we used to drive past. I can't remember where, but was it in Surrey? But it wasn't far. But we used to drive past the gated area. But they lost that.
Sorry,
that got taken away from them.
Just that little bit.
So I do love. Yeah, I was saying, but it was there was quite a lot, but and it's really bizarre because I think with George Michael for me was just someone else. But I never. And the people just look at when I say I never really fancied it, but I didn't. I could see he was a good-looking bloke, but I just idolised him. It was so when you idolise someone, you don't actually see that like fancy bit, do you? So
I suppose you just appreciate them, don't you, as a singer?
Yeah. And I think that's what I did with him. He was just amazing, and just it's Christmas coming up again, ain't it? I keep thinking because he died at Christmas, didn't I? I just think. Oh.
They've brought both brought the Band-Aid out one again, haven't they, with him on it?
Do you know what's was it they had a thing on television around the best Christmas song of all time, and Last Christmas was at number 1. And
it's the only song that never got to number 1.
And I was just about to say, isn't that weird? The top Christmas song of all time. Yeah, it's was one of the songs. The document is on tomorrow, but I think you can watch it now. And I've seen a little clip of it. Because George Michael, when he sang his bit, he made them change it, didn't he? Because he wanted to go higher. And they said, yeah, try that. And they loved it. Because he was quite low, wasn't he? It was better. I just think, I do. Oh, George Michael.
Definitely.
So, yes, it would be all of that.
Okay. Right, Nikki, you got one?
What is the funniest memory you have of the 1980s?
Oh God, there's quite a few. I think a funny, well, especially when we was kids. So when we was younger, we used to go scrumping.
Yeah,
I know.
Looking apples.
So you used to go on people's property and climb the tree. And I always remember there was a girl that. Because at the time, they used to call them tomboys, didn't they? Growing up in the 70s and 80s. Yeah. And I always remember she was just brilliant. And I always remember we were climbing up this tree and this bloke came out. And it was a stick he had, but she was convinced he'd got a gun. It wasn't. He got a stick. And she was up the tree and luckily I dropped down and hid behind a bush. And she was literally hanging. But hanging that much. As she's hanging, she's stretching. Jeans are coming down, so you could literally see the top bit of her arse. And she was just, and he could. I don't know if he couldn't see her to start off with, and all you could hear was me squeaking at the behind this. I mean, not the fact that I wasn't going to help. I was just crying, laughing that much because all I kept thinking, if he finds her and jumps up and pulls on her legs, she's going to lose all her trousers. And even to this day, I've not seen her for ages, but when I did a few years ago, she still remembers that bit. And she said, you didn't, because how do you expect me to come and help you? Because he can't. You thought he'd got more, he got a stick, but we didn't think he'd got a stick. But honestly, it was just, there's loads of things. I always think, like, for me, growing up as a kid, I grew up in quite a council estate, It was the only gay in the village. I always say it wasn't really that. But I always remember people call, because they used to use the word puff, didn't they? I hate that word. And I always remember, and I didn't know this because I've spoke to people before that grew up with me years ago, and they probably knew before I did. It's probably the fact that most of my friends were female.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? And I think a lot of gay men do have a lot of female, they get on better with females, don't they? And I had a lot of female influences. And they said that we knew, but it didn't care. I mean, even though we lived in a really rough council, where at the time you're gay, you're gay, you're gay. But they said you was all gay. You was all gay. But to be honest, I don't even think I realised anything. It's like I've said before, it's like when they used to call you that puff word, and my mum used to sit there and say, well, why are you calling it? He's always with women. Well, what my mum goes, well, what is a gay man? Oh, they're like boys. Well, he's always with women. So how can I? I mean, I think she knows. Oh, of course she knows. She's got to. I didn't know why she didn't when I told her years later.
Oblivious.
Yes, that was one of my favourites. So he's scrumping with a keg hanging down. It's quite a lot, though, to be fair. Yeah, good old. She was
so that kind of leads me into my question, really, which is a kind of extension of that. Because I was thinking, like, your 18th, because you just celebrated your 18th in the 80s, and I'm just thinking, was there any really embarrassing moments while you had your 18th? Within reason.
Well, on my 18th, for some reason, when I was 18 or something, I don't know, my clothes seemed to drop off a lot of the time. I don't know why. I've no idea why. And I always thank the Lord that there wasn't any video stuff like there is now. Because, oh my God. I mean, I can remember on my 18th, I think we'd gone, because I used to go to there used to be like a local pub, and it was, everyone used to go there. And we used to go there, and then we'd just come out the pub over the road, and there used to be a bus stop, and we'd go into town. But we didn't do that. So a bit further up in the other estate, there was I can't remember what it was called. There's a nightclub that just opened. One of the ones just opened up, and everyone just went there. And I always remember going there, and you get really, really drunk to the point of like. And I always remember walking down the street, and I thought, why have I got my clothes up? Because they were and I just think, in a pair of pants,
literally everything.
No, I got my pants on.
Right,
literally just got a pair of pants on, and I was quite lucky that my birthday's in August. Else I'd have been absolutely freezing. So I
would have felt it anyway.
Yeah, probably not. It would have still been hot.
My excuse, all I kept thinking was, thank the Lord it's not winter, because I can't say to people there's nothing in my business if it's winter time.
Where were your clothes? Did you just leave them in the club?
No, a couple of my mates had got them. But
you just like a trail of clothes.
Oh, I was just walking in the street, and you just think. And I always remember when we'd left there. Then eventually I put them on, and there used to be a big, massive park on the way up to the pub, and we used to just running across there with nothing on. It's like, why? I remember, we remember loads of us taking and just running across the park in the pitch black with no clothes on, and then spending like 25 minutes trying to find your clothes because you just threw them on the floor, and there was no light there. And all I remember thinking, why are you doing?
You didn't go home with anyone else's clothes, did you?
No, and you just think, you just think now, when you think, all I think, God, I'd have never worked ever if there'd have been cameras around there, or video cameras, or
that would have been it for life, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I think that's one good thing about 80s, 90s, no video footage, no evidence.
I think that's why people did it.
Carefree, wasn't it?
Yeah, because I always think to myself, I'm so glad.
I've done a couple of moonies out the back of the car. On the motorway.
I remember you telling me
that was hilarious.
But you think though, when you think now, I think so.
Why did I do that?
It's an age thing, isn't it? You just think, I was 18, and I was just at the time, and I always remember the worst thing, I used to smoke at the time then as well. And I remember people buying me someone buying me 200 fags and why did I feel like? I mean, I wasn't ever a big smoker anyway.
Just when you're out, though.
Oh my God, Karen, would you know you used to go out because you
You've
could smoke
changed
in the pub.
it.
You could smoke in
You
the pubs
smoked in
then
the
as well,
pubs,
couldn't
didn't
you?
you? Then that was even worse.
And I
You used to
always
buy a packet at the
remember,
beginning, didn't you? And then
yeah,
buy another packet by the time you'd left.
yeah. Or you'd buy some from the pub, and for like, I mean, they always cost a little bit more, didn't they? And there was always 4 missing, and you think to yourself, why they took 4 out of that? There was always 4 missing out the pack. But yeah, and oh God, some of the things, just thank the world, you're very lucky there were no cameras and video cameras. No one needs to see that.
I feel like because I was born 81, so I was like.
But you still like grew up and you still knew some of your.
I don't think I had a phone until what 2003, 2004 probably.
But they never even like. I mean, it's like when we were saying before. It's like with house phones. I mean, I remember we used to have a house phone, and Mum used to put one of them old metal locks on. And I mean, that was, and I always remember when phones first come into the houses. It was like we was all obsessed, weren't we? I mean,
absolutely.
Even just to speak to the speaking clock man that used to go, the time sponsored by Accurist is.
Accurist is.
You used to always answer your house phone with your telephone number.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yes.
And I still remember my home telephone.
With a posh voice.
Yeah, you'd be like
Hyacinth bouquet.
Mum, I can remember my mum when the phone used to ring, and my mum was very Leicester, and when I just looked at her, who is that? Who have you become? I've never heard you speak like that in my entire life. But yeah, you are very lucky that there's no camera footage out there, everybody.
If I spoke to my friends or anybody, I used to have, because ours was in like an alcove, so it was placed in a little alcove, and the
cold
oil, you could just about get the phone onto the floor, and then you could stretch the phone handle as long as you could get it. I could literally sit. I used to sit in my dining room that I could see through the front room, and I could still watch the telly while I was on the phone. I stretched it as far as I could get it. Like I was like,
Talking about that, I always remember as well. Remember you in the 80s, you used to have them phones. You used to have like normal, before the phones come out, you used to have these phones with a big wire, and you used to be able to go upstairs and someone would be downstairs and you could ring each other. And it was literally a thin piece of wire, but it was like, I don't know how it worked.
You're not mistaking it for the 2 paper cups at the end, are you?
No. No, honestly, someone would say there used to be red phones, and there was just like, and you used to have like a little button on it that used to light up, and you used to be able to, it had a long bit of wire on it, and it was, I think it was like,
you must have been posh.
Look at him with 2 phones. 2 phone J.
And there used to be one upstairs. I used to be able to talk to each. I mean, now you just think to yourself, I mean, that's nothing compared to what we got now, is it? But yeah. So yes, that was my 80th drunk and disorderly.
Oh, bless you. Go on then, Nick.
Oh gosh. See, I should have come with questions. I said to Karen, I'm just going to ad-lib. It'll be fine.
Oh, I used to do that and then forget.
Okay. Favorite 80s movie?
Oh, I know that one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Well, have we asked quite this a lot before? Shall I rewind?
No. I have. I mean, mine was The Breakfast Club, but I also. I mean, there was loads. I mean, I've said, and it's like things like Witches of Eastwick from the 80s.
I love that movie.
Yeah, and E.T. and
Can you remember Teen Wolf?
I love Teen Wolf. Michael J. Fox, Mr. Back to the Future, bless
Teen Wolf.
What about Goonies?
And the Goonies. Hey, you guys.
I could do a great impression of him.
Go on then.
Okay, hold on. I need to get into character. Hey, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks. You're welcome. You're welcome.
But that is just that. I mean, there is loads. That's a classic film, isn't it? I just think the Goonies is just absolutely. It always blows my mind. The Goonies does. But then I used to like things like I mean, there's just loads of films. I was watching one the other day. I've watched Pretty in Pink as well, and I do love her. What's her name from
16 Candles.
Yeah. Oh, I loved all those.
Loved all them.
Is it Millie? Is it Millie? Isn't it? Was her name Millie? Yeah, it was Millie, isn't it?
Molly Ringwald.
Molly Ringwald.
Molly was just brilliant, wasn't she? She was just absolutely.
She's still good. She's in films now.
She's in. If you've ever seen The Kissing Booth.
Oh,
she's in that. Yeah,
love all of them.
I do love Molly, and I do love the 80s, and I do. Yeah, there's I keep thinking of other films, but there's loads of films. It's like
you know what 80s film I watched the other day? Adventures of Babysitting.
Oh yeah, when she's dancing in the beginning of the
I don't think I've seen that.
Have you not?
Up this morning and asked me if I wanted to dance.
No, I don't think you have. Do you know what I found really bizarre? Because I did try and watch. I'd never watched the what was it called with Axel? What's it? Is it Eddie Murphy that's in it? What's it called?
Beverly Hills.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan. I watched them, but I wasn't.
But then I mean, I've spoken about this, and people look at me outraged when I say I couldn't watch Top Gun or anything like that.
I can watch that over
on Nikki, and it's only because I can't watch Tom Cruise.
Do you know what? I'm not a massive Tom Cruise fan. I'm with you on this. I
think that's what it is for me.
Overrated.
Yeah, very. And I think that's what it is.
But it's a lovely story.
Yeah, everyone's saying. I mean, it's no Officer and Gentleman, though, is it? I mean, come on. Richard Gere in that Officer and Gentleman outfit. When he sweeps her up.
They are. There's your
handsome. There you go. Handsome man. Richard Gere wasn't it?
They had some great movies in the 80s. I'm telling you. Oh, that's the other one I watched the other day. I'm such an 80s movie. Troop Beverly Hills.
Oh, I've seen that. I haven't seen that for a long time.
Troop Beverly Hills with Shelley Long.
Yes.
Where she's like the Beverly Hills mum. And
she was in loads, wasn't she? She was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what? It was
Goldie Hawn was funny.
See, I didn't realise that she's 80-something. Oh, I love I used to love Big Trouble in Little China as well.
He was funny.
That's good.
I did love him. Big was really good, wasn't it? I remember Big. And what was that other one?
I think it's safe to say that 80s movies are the best movies.
They are, and this is why when I hear people say, "Oh, we're going to remake," it's like, no, please. Don't.
Oh no, don't do it.
Please. I personally, as much as I love the 80s and all that, and I just think for me, some things are just meant to keep. You know what I mean? It's like when I heard someone say they was trying to make the Gremlins, and it's no. Because they were actual puppets, weren't they?
I don't think I could cope if they said they were doing the Breakfast Club. I wouldn't watch it.
No, to be honest, I don't know how you would. Yeah, I don't know how you'd ever be able to do that though. Because
those parts fitted those actors perfectly.
Well, it was all around the Brat Pack as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was all
and at the time, there was and there was no mobile phones at the time, so you wouldn't be able to. Whereas now, if they did it now, they'd all be moaning about the phones and.
Well, they just all be talking in detention, wouldn't they? I don't know if it works, would it really?
Many of them.
They just end up doing TikToks.
Yeah, that's what they would then.